Hi, I'm coming to you today to talk about something that we all need to do, but we either usually put it off or we just don't know how to really do it, and it's that F word, forgiving. And I'm going to talk about pretty much how you are at your forgiving. We're going to identify pretty much if you're a cat, dog, or mouse, and I'll explain that in just a few minutes. So we're going to identify who you are when it comes to forgiveness. Then we're going to talk about what you need to forgive. And then most importantly, we're going to do an exercise to show you how to forgive. Okay? So the first thing is, what are you when it comes to forgiveness? I'm going to use, let's go back to your childhood and say, my older brother Okay, so we're going to say, for example, your older brother embarrassed you in front of your friends. We're going to use that example. This could be anytime. Let's find out what kind of person you are. So the incident happens, and let's say that you say you forgive them. You forgive them, but at the same time, every time your brother comes around you and your friends, you get scared and you get like, oh my gosh, she's going to do it again, and you're expecting the same thing to happen again. Then what you are at that point is you're a dog. You're a dog when it comes to forgiveness, because a dog is loyal. They won't treat you wrong. They'll be nice to you, but they'll have those hidden feelings pretty much to where, and they come up when they're triggered. So something comes up that reminds them of the past of a different situation, and then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, and they get fearful that it's going to happen again. If you are a cat person, the cat will just dislike you anytime you see her. So every time you see your older brother, it reminds you of what he did, and you're mad and you act mean towards him, and you're just not very nice. So if you act that way, then you're a cat. If you are a mouse, every time what happens is, you, instead of being mean to your brother or anything else, you'll take it out on yourself. So what happens, like, oh my gosh, if I didn't do this, or if I wasn't such a person this embarrassed easy, I would feel better. So the mouse takes it out on themselves. So please, think about it now. Which one are you? Now, a lot of times we are all different ones in different situations. But think about which one you are the most. Which one do you identify the most when it comes to forgiving different things? Are you a dog? Do you forgive the people, but you don't forget? And when things happen, you get scared that it's going to happen again, or that they're going to hurt you again. Are you a cat, to where if somebody crosses you, you pretty much hate them forever, and you'll never let them forget what they did to you? Or are you a mouse? So when things happen to you, you blame yourself, and you know that if it was something you did different, the situation wouldn't happen. So right now, identify exactly which one you are. And now we're going to talk about what you need to forgive. And pretty much everything that bothers you, anything that comes up, like you could still have things from your past that happened long time ago, and something will trigger it and you'll remember it, and it makes you feel bad or it makes you feel angry. If that's the case, that needs to be forgiven. Anything. People think it's just when people do them bad, but no, it's really situations. And what that means is, like, it's not really the person. We're going to kind of take an example right here. It says, my older brother embarrassed me in front of my friends. Well, if you replaced older brother with mother, does that still change the situation? Or are you still going to be angry about that time or frustrated about that time you were embarrassed but in front of your friends. We could change this to friend. It doesn't really change the situation. You were still embarrassed in front of your friends. So what this tells us is that it's not really the person you're mad at. The person is not what you're mad at. What you're wanting to forgive is not the person. What you're wanting to forgive is the situation. In this case, being embarrassed in front of your friends. So a lot of people think, yes, I need to forgive the person, and or it's hard to forgive. So, and this doesn't matter if you are a dog, a cat, or a mouse. It doesn't matter which one you are. The thing is that it doesn't matter. It's never the person who's done the thing to you. It's always the situation. And we're going to try to forgive the situations. And why we need to forgive, of course, is because we're all working on manifesting. All my channel is about is manifesting. And this is a really big thing. It's one of my things that have been blocking me for a long, long time. And I've been working on it, and I finally found something that actually works for me. So what we're getting ready to do is I'm going to show you an exercise on how to do this, how to forgive this stuff, and finally let things go. But this, again, example shows that it's not the person. You can change that person to somebody else, and as long as that situation happened, you're either going to be angry about it, you're going to be sad about it, you're going to be frustrated about it, you're going to have some kind of feeling. So it's the situations we need to let go of. The people, even you might think that you've forgiven the people, and you know that situation will come up, and that's why you're still mad, or you're still angry, you're still sad about it. You can forgive the person easily because anybody could have done it to you. It's the situation that you need to let go of. So we're going to do an exercise, and I'm going to show you how to forgive. So this is the exercise we're going to do. It's actually an ancient Hawaiian ritual that has been done to forgive and let go of situations like we want to do now in order to stop our blockage in manifesting. So what happens is that you will find what you want to write, and what you're going to do is actually get a journal or a notebook, paper, it doesn't matter, just get something to write with. And I'm going to ask you to think about at least 10 things that you want to forgive. And again, remember, not people. I mean, you could put the person on your sentence if you want to, but it's really the situation we're going to forgive. And I want you to think, and I want you to actually go back to as far as you can remember. So if it's at 5 years old, 6 years old, and you probably will actually get more than 10. When I first did this exercise, I think I got like 21 things. So I want you to go back to the earliest you can remember, and anything that you remember that made you feel sad, that made you feel angry as a kid, back in school, with your family, all the way, from where you are at now. List every single thing. And you're going to go on the notebook paper, and on the title, you're going to call it like My Forgiveness Book, or you're going to say My Forgiveness List, or I Forgive You, something like that. You're just going to put something that tells you that this is your forgiveness book. And right now you're beginning with 10 or as many as you can think of. But what I want you to do is keep that book. Keep that book somewhere hidden if you don't want anybody else to find it. But keep it somewhere. So what happens is you'll remember stuff that you don't remember today. And when something comes up or something triggers a memory and you're like, oh my gosh, this is something that, made me sad, angry, or anything, then you go back and get your book. You're going to write it down and do this ritual that we're getting ready to do. So let's do another example. Let's say we're going to actually, no, what I'm going to do is do a mouse situation, a dog situation, and a cat situation. So let's start with a dog situation where you had something, you forgave the person, but something in the memory still comes up. And remember, you'll get all of these. You'll be a dog, cat, and mouse, depending on the situation. But I wanted to show you what you will do, or what the difference is on these situations and what you'll say. So let's see, a dog situation. Let's say, I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's say that, maybe you're in, I don't know, fourth, fifth grade, something like that. And you had sleepover and all your friends were going, but your mom wouldn't let you go because she didn't let you go to sleepovers or so it's over. So this is a dog situation. Let's say, okay, again, it could have been anybody that wouldn't let you go. It could have been your dad, or it could have been, any guardian or somebody that didn't let you do something. And you're kind of angry about that. But of course, you're not going to hate your mom forever because of this. But you remember that situation. You could be like 30 some years old and go back and be like, oh, I wish, my mom would have let me did this and like did this. Maybe I would be more social. Maybe I would do this. And do you see, that's why these are blockers, because what happens is if you don't forgive the situations, you're going to blame your past on things, on why things aren't happening now. So this is why we're forgiving it. So what you would do in your notebook is you would just put, you would have your title, and then you would put something like, the time my mom wouldn't let me go to a sleepover. And what you're going to do, and this is the part of the Hawaiian ancient ritual, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. And you're going to say that to yourself. Every time you write something, you're going to say those words. Pretty much you're saying you're forgiving the situation. You're saying you're sorry that you let this situation bug you for so long and you could have been let it go. You're thanking the situation for leaving, and you're saying I love you because you want to give love to it, in that way it will not bother you no more. And really, it seems like a very simple thing, and I thought, yeah, okay. Because a lot of times I've read these books and people say forgive, forgive, and I'm like, I do. I don't hold grudges. I'm not a grudge person. But there's certain, I think only about 2 people in my life that have done things to where I don't hate them for it. I don't not like them for it, but a situation will come up and it'll trigger a memory, and I will get either sad or depressed or angry about it. And it's like, well, have I truly forgave if this situation still makes me mad? And this is why we're now writing down the situation, so you can finally let go of it and stop letting that negative feelings interfere with your manifestations. So if this is you're a dog person, I'm going to write this on the side right here. You're going to say these words. Now, the difference between that and being a cat, let's say if you're a cat person, and let's see, let me do another one. Say your friend lied to you. I don't know if the friend could have lied about anything. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But on your paper, you would put what your friend lied to you about that's making you so angry. Because maybe that person's not even your friend no more. If you're a cat person, that person probably isn't your friend no more. But you still remember that situation. Same situation. My friend lied to me. It could be about whatever it is. So what we're going to say on this one, though, is, I'm sorry. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. So it's going to be the same situation. You're forgiving that person. You're forgiving the situation. And you're trying to let it all go. So pretty much the dog and the cat situation is pretty much, you're going to say the same way. The only difference is when you get to the mouse situation. Let's go to the mouse situation. The mouse situation would be a situation where maybe it's probably not a person that's done something. It's probably something you've done. So let's say you stole something when you was a kid like a candy bar. That's the perfect example. So you'll have your title and you'll say the time I stole a candy bar. And so in this case, you're not going to say I forgive you. What you're going to say is I forgive myself. So you're going to say the same things. You're going to be like, I'm sorry. I forgive myself. Thank you. I love me. You know, so you're going to change it up a little bit and you're going to forgive yourself, because I've actually found that a lot of the situations where I have put in my forgiveness things, that I look back on it and it's like, you know what, really, I don't really blame the person. I blame myself. Like, I could have got myself out of that situation. I didn't have to stay in that situation. I could have spoke up. I could have reacted different. And so a lot of times I'll be like, you know what, that wasn't my fault, you know, or I shouldn't be blaming myself. And I need to let that go, because that also helps with your self-esteem issues, your confidence. All that stuff is negative stuff that's blocking. So depending on the situation, you're always going to say, I'm sorry. You're always going to say, I love you. You're always going to say, thank you. The forgive part is just depends on what's happening in your sentence. The forgive part, you're going to either say, I forgive you, or you're going to say, forgive me. So like if you've done something wrong to somebody else, and you're putting that down, you know you've done wrong and that situation bothers you, you're going to say, forgive me. And that's the time you'll use forgive me. If you're trying to forgive somebody else, say, I forgive you. And if you're just do something on your own, just say, I forgive myself. So that's the only one that's going to change. And you're going to do that for each thing you write down. So you're going to write down everything, at least 10 people, just 10, at least 10. I want you to write down, and I want you to see how you feel after you're doing that. And so don't write all 10 down and just say the complete thing for the entire page. I want you to say it for each sentence, each situation. You want to say that phrase and say it out loud. I know a lot of times I usually say, say it to yourself or say it out loud. This one I want you to say out loud. I want you to read your sentence out loud, and I want you to say that statement out loud. So for this one, even if you have to go into the bathroom, turn the vent on so nobody can hear you or bother you, if that's the only time you can get some quiet and some privacy, at least do that. Just find somewhere where you have some privacy and do this exercise. And note how you feel, if you feel lighter, if that situation doesn't come up in your mind, because there's a lot of things we have in our mind that keeps coming up and we wish we can just forget about it. But do this exercise. A lot of times you will forget it. You'll feel more at peace about it. And then again, when you find something else or you think of something else, or if something happens and recently, get that notebook out and forgive it. Get it out of your system as soon as you can. Anytime something comes up, do that and see how you feel.